Good morning. Good morning. I agree with Pastor Tony. It's definitely good to see everyone. I can talk really loud.
There we go.
Am I good?
I got it.
Okay. Well, good morning. We'll try that again. It is so good to see some of you boys and girls in here today. Actually, I think it's just 3 boys, but I'm going to pretend that there's some girls in here too. And for those of us joining at home too, good morning this morning. The message that we're going to talk about this morning is about a man in Matthew, and it's a story that Jesus told, and some of you have your packets here this morning, and for those of you that don't have your packets, if you message me, I'll get them to you, or you can go out in your yard and find 2 rocks, and you'll be able to do the same exact thing that we're going to talk about. So Jesus talked about a man that had built his house on a rock, and what he's talking about is a solid foundation. And a storm came, and the winds came, and the rains came, and it blew and blew and blew, but the house still stood and it didn't fall down. And then there was another person that built their house on sand. And for those boys and girls that have been at the beach, you know, when you stand on the sand and the water washes it from under your feet, well, that's kind of what happened to this man. He built his house on the sand, and the wind came and the rain and the waves, and it just washed the sand right from under his house, so it didn't stand anymore. And what Jesus is meaning by this is that he's talking about how Jesus is the rock and how he is a solid foundation, and that we can have hope and trust and we can believe in him. But anything else that we believe in other than Jesus is not solid. We're not gonna be able to stand that, but we can always trust on Jesus. So in your package, you have 2 rocks, and I gave you 2 because you can take these home and you can paint them. And I know they're still doing a lot of this hiding the rocks around town kind of thing. And so I gave you 2 so that you can paint one for yourself and one to put somewhere in a secret spot for someone to try to find. And you can paint it, or you can use markers or something and just write Jesus is the rock on there. So you also remind yourself that Jesus is your rock, but also when you go and hide it at the store, or at a park, or wherever you can get out to, you can remind other boys and girls that Jesus is the rock too whenever they find it. So I can't wait to see all of you other boys and girls back in here. It's so good to see all of you in here, and I love you guys and miss you.